Mike Errico made this point about that he has fewer songs than I have at MLC, and I assume maybe not with some of the artists that I've had over the last 30 years. Possibly, I don't know, Mike, you can speak up for that. And yet he's making more money as far as he can tell from MLC. Okay, now let me start off by saying I want to be clear, I'm not casting aspersions at the MLC. The MLC were set up by Congress and they're trying to disperse money to underserved, if you will, portions of the market that they didn't calculate when streaming started. That's a very rudimentary understanding of it, but it'll suffice for now. So why is Mike making more money than I am? I don't know. Mike then went on to bring up maybe it's because of who owns the publishing and who owns the masters. Well, I own 100% of my publishing. So it's not that. I've retained all that, and that's been that way for quite a while. At least as long as the 2 years that, look at all these documents, look at all these pages that I was provided by MLC. It's got to be 50 pages of streams here from TikTok, from all the streaming services, from YouTube, from everything. That's a lot. There's a lot of stuff here. I made 14 cents off of TikTok, by the way. But so if it's not publishing, and he said maybe it's masters. Well, I can't speak for the masters of the artists who have covered my songs. I don't know who owns those masters, but I still own the publishing, and that's what MLC is dealing with, individual publishers and self-published artists who are underserved by the streaming market. Don't know how it works all exactly. I will say that there is one very, very curious thing to my reports, because I went through every page, Mike and everybody else, and you know what that is? That the administrator who put my songs up on MLC, a little over 2 years ago, they put up every title I had at ASCAP. But I hadn't listed every title I had written at ASCAP yet. Yeah, I was lazy. I didn't get around to it yet. There's about another 100 that have been published and are out in the wild, earning money that should be up at ASCAP. I think I've remedied that since then. But there are songs that MLC is reporting money on that have never been released. Yes, my friends, there are songs in here that have never been released by anybody, not by me, not by anybody else. They're registered songs, they're fully completed, but they are not out in the wild. So my question is, and I would love to meet with the MLC people while I'm still in Nashville for the next 2 to 3 months, because as I've mentioned before, after 22 years here, I'm moving to Europe full time at the end of January. So if they'd like to get together and explain this to me, I'm all ears, I'm not accusing anybody of anything, but it is curious that there are songs on here that are earning money, earning pennies, that have never been released. So if it's to balance out the inequities in the streaming market, how is that possible? Now, I know why they're here. It's because that administrator just threw up everything that I had at ASCAP at the time, but some of those songs had not been released. Now, I've had 300 songs that have been released, but there's probably another 50 that haven't been recorded yet. So they obviously haven't been released. That is a great question. So, Mike, thank you for your question. I don't know why I'm not earning more than $8.38 over the last 2 years. I still think that some of the people who are bragging about $50 a month is nonsense for 50 songs, because I've got some pretty big artists. I mean, you look at some of these streams, they're Grammy-nominated and Grammy-winning artists that have recorded my songs, and they're not earning $50 a month, so I don't know. But how about the songs that actually haven't been released are on this list as earning? That doesn't make any sense. So what do you all think?